Set me free. Come and set me free. Come and set me free, 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 free. Come and set me free. Give me all I need.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. Oh, my body's breathing, it's just you.
Hello, everybody. Hexic, congratulations on your first.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight.
How's everybody doing today?
My body's breathing.
Where is Unreal Engine gone? There it is.
I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in
That. I just need to check something quickly.
let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free.
There we go. Alright, so yesterday. We got the enemies able to be hit by the enemies are now attackable again, which is good. 2 XP games, hello. I could have dropped it and started. Yeah, I was half expecting you to come in and just like steal it while you're on the train or something. That would have been good. Yeah, so enemies now have a health, which is good. And I believe the towers can attack them again. So they should be able to. Okay, so projectile... That one doesn't work, but this one does. Now the only issue that I need to fix is that when they're on the train... Oh, not when they're on the train. When they... What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, they don't die. So, yeah. Did you have to go out anywhere in London yesterday? No. I avoided London yesterday. Why? What happened? Because it sounds like all the trains got cancelled. But I was in London on Tuesday and it was a shit show. Absolute shit show. It took me about 2 hours to get into work. And then about another 2 hours to get home. And it wasn't because there was like no transport. Like I could take the buses and I thought it'd be fine. But there was so many cars on the road because people were either driving, Ubering, or taking other forms of transport other than the tube that it was just an absolute madness. 500k to 3 million people were marching and protesting. I saw something about that on YouTube at some point. I was like, what? Tsukilas, hello, how are you doing? I was somewhat surprised to see what's going on. I actually don't know which part they were protesting for yesterday. I just saw that there was protests. Protesting what? I don't know. Hexic, do you know what they were protesting for? Okay, so they need to, when they die, actually, you know, stop. Free speech and also a bit of anti-illegal immigrant stuff. Right. I want to do 2 things. One, I want to call this mostly for testing. Let's just call this spawn wolf. Last Saturday there was a left-wing protest, 900 plus arrests. Oh, I saw something about that as well. And yesterday there was a total of 50 arrests. It's crazy. Braxton, hello, how are you doing? And there was a liberal estimate. It was around 20 when I saw earlier, but it's probably gone up a little bit. Probably, yeah. Man, all the police officers have to come, and because for a lot of the protests have to be registered, and then they have to get additional police in, and it's a big thing. Oh. Right, so when my enemies die now, they don't actually, they just stay walking, which is kind of not great. So what we should do is, for now, since we've still got all this code, we'll need to do it. Unfortunately, 5 police officers got injured during the protest. Oh no. So you got to work on a Saturday, which is probably the day that you wouldn't have to have worked normally because they had to bring in additional police officers for this. Okay, Amazon, chill. And then they got hurt. My favorite fake streamer quote has been, "There are no threats of freedom of speech, and we'll arrest anyone who says otherwise." They're alright as far as I know, but they kind of got in the way and got knocked over. They brought police from all over the south of England. Yeah, they would have had to. I don't want to have to cast Is It Alive? That's super expensive. Just give me a second. I'll come back. Oh, it's already is a blueprint enemy, so it is alive. Alive? Did I not expose that? Compile you. Where are you? You're under here, right? I'm guessing it's in the C++. If we go to the C++, what do we have? So the C++ side says that for the enemy base, we go to this. Is dead. Is false. Fine. We have a public function for that, so we should be able to say that in the enemy manager, if I get the element which is dead. There we go. Get is dead. Branch. Put that into the loop. Let's use a not boolean. And if it's not dead, we can do that. We'll move all that code to the side. We will put you... Actually, no idea where we'll put you. We'll put you there. I'm still floored that there wasn't even a thought, let alone anything said about trying to arrest Americans for UK speech laws. I don't hear about that. Okay, so that we can put there. Put you there. Make your blueprints neat. Otherwise, the blueprint fairy will come and get you. Braxton, how many more streams do you think is going to be until you finish your frog? Because I know you were sort of estimating that last night. Good, that should be done. Lower official, they had 0 paths to do anything like that. I think I'm over the hump and the easiest stuff is left now, so I'll do that. Let me think for a sec. Because you did mention that you had a few of the easier things that you'd have to do. I'm just amused at the audacity of thinking they could be a thing they could do. Anything's possible in today's world at this point. Honestly, you turn on the news lately and it's just everything is more, what's the word? I want to go with over the top now. I don't think it's even the correct word though. More drastic. Maybe that's the word I want. I'm looking at what's left and I think I can knock it out in 2 more streams. Nice. So possibly by next week Saturday, next week Sunday. You know where you're going to start after that? So that should solve that issue. So if I press start now, we put an electric tower down. That should absolutely obliterate him. Yeah, there we go. So he's dead and he stops moving. Fantastic. On top of And to top it off, when Americans caught wind of it, there were a lot of memes like, oh hey, anybody hear about the oil under the UK, wink wink. I'm going to do it differently than I did before. I will group streams into a playlist for each piece. Oh nice, that's a good idea. So people could kind of see the full process for each one of the pictures. Have you thought about taking snippets from the stream and making sort of like a hyperlapse of the drawing? I already do that, I just don't post them. Oh, nice. It'd be quite cool to see those. It's nice to see the entire full picture process of it. So, Clip Studio has a built-in thing that records the painting. Oh, that's very helpful. I think there'll be a lot of people that'll be quite interested in watching that. So Hexic, why were you in London yesterday? What were you doing? I did a couple and posted to YouTube Shorts, but I didn't do all of them. Oh, okay, fair enough. This is just for testing. Then what else do we have? So we've got that for testing. We've got in the enemy class, we now need to have a good way of handling the death. So on death, I was in London last Saturday doing work. Oh, you were in London yesterday? I was coming home from my partner's house. Here. Yeah, right. But how was London last weekend? You found 3 bins. I'm impressed. Made sure we got some bins out for you. Okay, so handle death, we currently do nothing. So what we want to do is get the health bar widget, set visibility of that to hidden, set visibility, set window visibility, visible self-hits test. That's not what I want. Oh, it's just new visibility. Does that work? Okay, that does work. That actually solves my next problem. So what we actually need to do now is, I mean, these could all be in the blueprint, but it's fine. Handle death. Let's handle a, you see, we need to handle respawn technically, but I don't want to do it in that way because when they get respawned, actually we can just, when they actually do get respawned, we can just do that. So let's do a new, what's that? Thank you, Bubbles. Random off-topic thing. Has anyone ever had the Serrano and Coke? The reason I ask is I noticed that it tastes very similar to Pepsi for me. I don't know why. Not Pepsi, sorry, Dr. Pepper. What is it? Disaronno. It's a type of liqueur. It looks like this. It looks like that. That plus like Coke or something. To me, I have it. It's good. It's really good. The problem is I buy a bottle of that. It doesn't last very long because I discovered that if I add that to Coke, it tastes like Dr. Pepper, and I quite like the taste of Dr. Pepper as is. Which is like, whoa. I was in London last Saturday doing work. Oh, right. Excluding the protest outside Westminster, that was super loud. It was alright. Finished work at 4. Me and my boyfriend stayed in London till like 10 p.m. going around looking at things. Had a few pints. Nice. Then we went to the King's house. I sent a picture of it on to my mom and was like, I'm at the brother of the house. Fair enough. Speaking of protest, did anyone see the Nepal finance minister being marched through the street? That was crazy story in videos. Oh, I did not see that. Interim Prime Minister on Discord. Amaretto is good for it as well. Oh, I have to try that one as well. I love how we're talking about alcoholic cola drinks and it's also drinking a cola drink. Coke is too sweet in my opinion. Coke, regular Coke is, I find, is very, very sweet. I usually go for the diet one, especially if you're adding like Disaronno, because Disaronno is very sweet as is. So you're adding like sugar to sugar, and if you drink normal Coke with it, it feels like you're just drinking syrup. It does have an almond flavor. Maybe that's what it is. Yes, actually, that's probably exactly why I have that that connection between the two, Braxton. Well spotted. I bought like 96 cans of Coke a while ago. I can't have that much Coke in my house, but I will drink all of it. I don't really drink mainstream soda. It's very expensive. I find here in the UK it's about £2.50 for a bottle of Coke, which is quite a lot. And considering that you can get the sort of off-brand ones, which I don't mind, for 45p, it makes a big difference. It's an amaretto. I don't remember what they make it from. Okay. I don't really drink the mainstream sodas. I have flavored sparkling water and maybe Sprite from here and there. I like Sprite. Sprite is usually my go-to. I just make iced tea sweetened in with stevia. It's a replacement for soft drinks or water. Okay. It's weird. I don't often crave sort of sweeter drinks for the most part. It's only it's for me it's funny enough more of a social thing. Like I'll have, if I go out, I'll order, you know, Coke or something and that kind of stuff. But I don't I wouldn't say I often have it, although Bubbles does like to have soda, so that's usually when we get soda. Jaeger bombs by the pint. Which one is the Jaeger bomb? Hold on. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of Jaeger bomb. Oh no, I am. Those are really good. I've had those a few times. I had those actually I had those at my wedding. They are very good. Get on my level, I'm a uni student. Yeah, to be fair, you're a uni student. From alcoholism. There's something about being in university that encourages it. Yes. So, what was I doing? Okay. This we actually don't need anymore. This we don't need anymore because I actually fixed all that. This we actually kind of need. So we have the death here, which I can throw that into there. Then we want to play the how do you play a animation for a mesh? Play montage. Should stop all montages. Yes, let's try that. Why can't you? Oh, because it's asynchronous. Fine. Wait, get next animation. What do you mean get next animation? What does that mean? Oh, right. So I'm doing it in that way. That's not the worst idea I've had, actually. The government gives me alcohol. I drank more in university than I have any other time in my life. Maintenance loan. If you read between the lines, it's just money for alcohol. Fair enough. I drank less. I drank a lot more after university, actually. Yeah, but you're a programmer. What? Actually, a lot of the programmer friends I had were spent a lot of their university time drinking. All programmers just waste 80% of their free time. Don't call me out like that. How dare you in front of all these people? I can't believe you do me like that. I'm a programmer too. Yeah, so you know. Let's just add a... Actually, I don't even know what it is. What type is it? Wait, let's go like this. Where's my mesh? Skeletal mesh. Animation to play. Let's find that. Where's death? Man, YouTube is not going to have the correct context for this video today. And it's going to get so heavily, like, downvoted because of the topics we've been speaking about. What are we classifying as free time? Anytime you're not working. We want an animation sequence for our enemy. So if we go to our enemy, let's add a new variable, which was this one, animation. Why would you do that? I don't know. Animation is equal. You're gonna make me cheat, aren't you? Not make an asset of that type? How dare you? Why not? Sila! Want to see a game I'm making using only buttons? It got a bit out of hand. Is that the one you showed yesterday on the stream? Animation montage. Anim montage is what it's called. Thank you, Unreal, because that's not helpful at all. A-N-I-M-O-N-T-A-G-E. Share your work. Waiting to upload. There. We just download it. I just have to wait for Windows File Explorer to catch up. It seems like it was an issue loading the game. Odd. What the hell? A button. You put a literal button in your game. Where's the flip button? I need a flip button. Yeah, a flip button. flip button. Like in aircrafts.
It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder.
That's hard to make. No, you just need to click it. Just put an image of it and just click it. Like you do with the button, but it just needs to be an image. Click, 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 click.
I killed it. It's murder.
There's also, if the theme is everything's a button, just put a tree in that you have to click. Why a tree? Why not a tree? I tried to get one of each shader effect, but it failed. Oh no. Because also having a little safety cover on it. So you have to flip, you have to click it twice, yes. You could do that. So you have to click it once to open the safety cover, and you have to click it again to actually clip it. So it's a double click button. That was pretty cool. When do we get to play it, Tempting?
I killed it. It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it. It's murder.
Go crazy, berserker.
If someone had to, if I could somehow find 3 textures for I could. One to cover down, one up, and one thing. If I remember later, I'll try to find it for you. So we've now got the death animation. So let's try this. Let's do this like that. This is show coins. I don't know why you've disabled that, but anyway. So we're gonna go do that. We're gonna go get that. We're gonna play that and see if this works. If it doesn't work, I'm not actually sure what to do then. That's future me's problem in about 5 seconds. So let's see. Does this work? Let's play. Start. I really need to fix their speed. I need to change it so their toenails don't get painted the whole time. Die. It didn't work. Oh, because I never set it. Me, why does my program not work? Also me, never sets the thing. Never sets the thing. We want a animation. And we want... Still needs to give a lose condition to add. Maybe a big red button if you press it, the game over. You could do that because they do not click. And what you could do to make the player know that you don't have to click that is you start off and you show the button. When they click, you say, well, you've lost already, but I'll give you another try. You're not supposed to click that one, or something like that. Could be like Simon Says kind of game, where there are buttons you're not supposed to click. Yes. Is it not an animation? It's an animation sequence. Seek. Change. Set animation. Or it could be a thing where some boxes have 2 buttons and you have to press the right one. You have a massive panel that pops up with a whole bunch of buttons. You have to click the correct ones in the correct sequence. Under the hood, it could just be a field. And if all the values end up false, the game ends. It kind of played it. Not quite what I expected. Maybe we should actually have a look at this. What does this look like? Okay. These are all sequences. That's montage. That's an attack. Thing is, you could just avoid those buttons then. So is the point to, do you get points for how long you last or something, Semtic? Depends how you present that. But yeah, Windows closed, fair enough. If you want tempting, then why don't you just make it number of windows clicked in a minute or 2 minutes? So you put a finite end time. The countdown timer, yeah. It says jog forward, so let's resume. F8, B, 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 B. Pause, F8, select U. Skeletal mesh. What happens now? So it's still showing. Gil, hello, how are you doing today? For each click you add, and the amount of times added could be based on how fast the click goes.
fresh, let me have a little taste. Cold, hot, bittersweet, let me see what's up. I like it hot, feel spicy, fresh. Let me have a little taste. Cold, hot, bittersweet, let me see what's up. I like it hot. I like it hot. Let me see what's up. I like it hot. I like it hot. Let me see what's up. I like it hot. I like it hot. Let me see what's up. I like it hot.
Suspicious.
I like it hot. Let me see what's up. I like it hot.
Incomplete.
I like it hot.
Oh, let's try debug that. What happens?
See what's up. I like it hot.
Oh, I hate that I can double click into that. What are we going to call this one? Doesn't need a name. Anime. Play death. Go. File save. Play. Start. B. Play death. So it plays it, but doesn't play it.
I'm gonna get you, gonna make you fall in love with me. You want more.
What if I do that?
Yeah, but you never had it better way. I do it all. I'm gonna get you, gonna make you fall in love with me. You want more.
Nope.
Yeah, but you never had it.
Maybe it can't because... I want to try something. If I take...
I'm gonna get you, gonna make you fall in love. Yeah, but you never had it better way. I do it all. I'm gonna get you,
Animation mode.
make you fall in love with me. You want more. Yeah, but you
Animation play function. These changes the status of the animation instant, which is a transient data, which means it won't serialize the component. Because of the reason it's not safe to be used during construction script. Fair. Please use override animation data for construction script. Use animation asset. Use custom mode. What does that do? Pause animations. I'm guessing that just breaks because now it doesn't have an animation. Yeah, he just walks like that. Fine. Does that mean I can just go take that and then go set animation and then just go forward? Is that what I use? I don't know, let's just use death forward because I don't know. Nope, doesn't do that. Does not like that. We go what do we have for animation? Let's see. We can play an animation. don't know if this can be the case for you as well, but had some issues where my metahumans, because the mesh of the animation should be played on wasn't the root mesh. I had to provide the correct mesh to play the montage function. I'm not sure. Because I'm trying to do this without actually having to have a animation blueprint, because, you know, if I can keep the complexity down, that would help, especially since I only really need to have 3 sort of states that my character has. So if I don't have to have the animation blueprint, that would be ideal. So we want death underscore A for him. Compile, save. And it's not looping. So we don't want that. We can delete that. But now I don't think he actually has an animation. No, he does. Somehow remembered the state. I'm actually impressed in Unreal Engine. So let's see, what does that do? Aha! And look, he's lying on the floor. Ta-da! It almost feels so sad to see him just, you know, dead there on the floor, but you know. Now I need to find, I mean, okay, I don't need to do this. What I'm going to do for now is at a certain amount of time after they're dead, I'm just going to teleport them away. And the reason I'm going to teleport them away is they're actually going to be returning to the pool. What I might do, which might be an option, is to create some kind of texture, I'm gonna say, actually more of a material more than anything else, where they like disintegrate. And the way I might do that is either this class will do it, or when they die, we will put that in place where they are, teleport them away, play that. Once it finishes, send that off to another object pool somewhere else. But this means that we can now set up a very basic object pool system to see if this works. One thing I want to try to do, actually don't know where it is. I need to find the decal that I'm using. It's this one, but how am I doing the... no, I need to find where it's used. So we want material, so it'll be arrow. Arrow material, this one. Let's go to the reference viewer. It's used inside the path visualizer. So BP path visualizer, that one there. Inside the BP path visualizer, which we have over there, is just the right one. Yeah, this one. So draw, where's the event graph? Here's the event graph. So we spawn the decal. Now there was a way of saying to the decal that please don't ever get put onto this particular target. Oh, wait. There's something else I need to do. There's a setting that exists somewhere in Unreal Engine, and basically what it does is it says that when we do the decal pass, don't apply it to this actor. And I know I've seen it before because I had it working like this. Now, is it inside of here? decal. Receive decals. That. Now, they should no longer have painted toenails. See, now decals no longer affect them. One thing that might be a good thing to do just for now is they are really running in place. So let's increase their speed just slightly. It doesn't matter right now because these are probably not even going to be the finalized enemies, but it would be a good thing to get them to look a bit better just for my personal sanity. Where would it be? Enemy manager? Is it this one? It's doubled it. Can we not make this a float? Multiply by, and can we make this a float? Make float. Let's go speed. Speed? 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 Come on! You can do it! There we go. Now, delete. That way around. Speed is currently 0, so because we want the speed to be uniformed, let's try it to and see what it looks like. Okay. Start FM. Still sliding. Let's go with start with 4. It's weirdly good. Maybe a bit slow, but I'm actually quite happy with that. Does look like they're sliding actually, so let's increase it 4.5. Start. Ah, yes, that's noticeably better. Look at it. Looks like he just puts his foot down and he moves. Oh, yeah, boy. So now I can just put a row of towers down and bam. He dies, he's dead. They all stop fighting. I was going to say stop fighting. I'm technically going to stop fighting. Stop shooting. There it is. I'm just wondering, like, is there anything happening this week that I'm aware of? Other than the standard, you know, it's a work week. I don't think there is. There's nothing like special happening. I've got work colleagues that are going to the US this week. I was actually supposed to be going to the US probably this week. But unfortunately that got cancelled because trying to get a visa for the US and the UK is surprisingly very difficult. It's not difficult, it takes a very long time. There's a 5-month wait time on to get into the embassy. So what do we okay, let's do a git commit because we're actually in a state that looks kind of really good. No tower defense, that one there. Not that one. The other tower defense. Tower defense. This one. So, fixed enemy. Enemies can now die. And... no, else is it? Yeah, enemies can now die. That's basically it. Show death animation, stop movement, and hide. What would you call it? We would hide the health bar. Okay, saved, done. So that's the new enemy system, which is coming along quite nicely. Next, what I want to do is, I think it's worth having a look at the object pooling part now, because that will be the next thing. So I would say we look at object pooling, we look at scaling object pooling. So we'll start off with just this base enemy type. And then what we'll do is we will expand that to other specific enemy types. I think then what we do is once we've got the specific enemy types in, we actually overhaul our spawner system and see how we can link into the spawner system. Because once we've got the spawner system that can spawn the enemies can do all the things they need to do. Unless what I do... Okay, let's write these down. Maybe that's what we should do. Not that one, this one. So, that's for the pull. That's for movement, that's for lookup. So let's go with this and say what do we need to do. So to do 4 enemies. So we need to do pooling for enemies. I'm going to break this up into single. That'll make sense in a second. And then, well, actually, we'll just do this. We'll go multiple. Then go overhaul. So how do you spell overhaul? Really? I was right. Yeah. Overhaul spawn system. System to use object pooling. So let's do our object pooling test. I would say let's do our object pooling test next. Implement an object pooling system for enemies. Technically spawning enemies. Then we need to implement enemies need to attack attack and basically B2. And what else? So we've got the pooling for the individual enemies that we need to do, which we're going to do now. Then we're going to do pooling for multiple enemies. So in the moment, pooling will only support a single enemy, and that's it. Then we're going to change it so that we can support a wide range of enemies. Once we've gotten that working, great. But that's kind of going to have to come along with the new spawning system. So I would actually say that the order that we do this is... Let's do this. How can we do this? Let's make that. Let's make it tiny. So this could be any. And I'm going to change that to that weird color over there. So that can be any. Nope. I want you. So this first. So go 1. Then implement an object pooling system for the spawning. Did I say the same thing twice? Implement an object pooling system for spawning enemies. Sorry, what I meant to say is... Actually, no, we don't need that, because that's part of this. That's this. 1, 2... and 3. Or we could have just done hooray. I don't want to save that. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to get a basic booting system for the enemies. I'm going to build it inside of the enemy manager for now. Actually, I can't remember how you set up a booting system. Let's write it out. So we've got spawn and enemy. No. Request a enemy, because we're going to do a dynamic system. Request an enemy. Yeah, I can do it here. Enemy pooling. Okay. So how's this going to work? We're going to request. So on spawn, request enemy. So we'll have something that requests the enemy. And then we'll do a check. If none, spawn and return. Else. Nope, I don't want that. Want that. Want that there. Else. Return one from the pool. So we need to read an array. Will be objects, we'll make that. Array of pool enemies. EP enemy. X. Let's just wait for the ads. Okay. I will be right back when we have the ads quickly. I have returned. Thank you to the new sub. What did I want to say? Right. So I suddenly realized that if someone doesn't know what object pooling is, I should probably explain. In games, things that are expensive to do are create new things and destroy those things. So if we have an enemy, let's say we have this enemy. It's expensive to create this and then destroy it. So what we often do in games to prevent, you know, the overhead of this is we will often spawn a bunch of them before we need them. So let's say like when you load up your game or something, so we'll do that. We'll spawn up a bunch of them and those sit in what we call a pool. Like that. Then when we actually need to use those enemies and we want to spawn them and do something with them, we will go and basically say to the pool, hey, I need an enemy, please may I have an enemy? So we'll go to the pool and be like, yo, give me one, and the pool will be like, sure, I have one, here you go. And we'll do what we need with it. When we're done with it, it gets returned back to the pool. Now, for my game, because it's a tower defense game and we've got a bunch of enemies, we could spawn, and I haven't settled on how many enemies there will be per wave. So instead of going to the process of let's figure out a good middle ground for, you know, I'm going to possibly have 100 enemies, but I don't want to have a pool size of 100 because I don't need it. We expect that the player will be killing enemies as we go along. So what I'll probably do is I'll make a min pool size. So when we start the round, I'll kind of figure out how many enemies I'm expecting people to kill. But if they don't, I'm not going to say, you know, don't spawn more enemies. I'm going to instead dynamically increase the size. So for example, what we could do, I deleted the wrong thing. I want to delete just that. Is I can make all of these sort of additional dynamic ones that sit in the pool. And then if we find that we're no longer using up the whole pool, we could set a thing where, you know, every so often we actually just remove some of these. So we start deleting them and reducing the pool size back down to the size that we need. And that's essentially what I'm going to start implementing. Pool party, exactly. Tempting a pool party. But yeah, normally what this is used in is it's used a lot in particles and stuff. So actually the Niagara particle system comes with the pooling method built in that's handled for you, which is pretty cool. At which point the player is like, why did my game stutter? Yes, there's nothing happening, it's a nice quiet part of the game, and the game suddenly stutters and I get a bug report. Game stutters towards the end of the wave, WTF, and I go, ah, that's me deallocating half the pool. Or what's going to happen is we're going to have, I know this is going to happen already, I can envision it. Here's the portal, right? We're going to get a bunch of players that are going to sit, they're going to build right here at the start. They're going to be like, nah, these enemies need to die the second they come out. I want them, the second they come into existence, dead. That's usually how I play it, by the way. Then you'll have enemy guys that will be like, you know what? Let's build backwards. We're going to build our defense backwards, and they're going to start over here, and they're going to be like, this is going to be the most fortified thing ever. And they start building here. And this is a situation where my poor dynamic pool system is going to go, please, please no. Please, 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 please no. Because it'll have to spawn basically the entire wave to get to this point, to then have them killed off. And then we probably change enemy types, so we destroy the whole pool. And Unreal's just like, man, what are you guys doing to me? one would call it spawn kill, yes. So those are the two types I'm imagining are going to happen. Funny enough, my first map that I've made actually prevents this situation, because they have to walk a bit, which I'll probably do. Is the enemies will have to walk a bit before they get to a range that the player can actually shoot. Funny enough, the one tower that kind of solves this, if I just go, this cheat menu won't be shipping with the game, by the way. Oh, that's the wrong one. The missile tower, because of its range, because you notice that when I put down like the electric tower, you see the range, and you're like, bro, your game is broken. Where's the missiles tower? If I zoom out at the moment, that's its range, which is currently the whole map. Which we might change. Oh, look at Unreal Shadows breaking. You be like, who does allocation in real-time simulation? Who does allocation during real-time simulation? Yes. Temtic, because I know you'll probably be one of the first to play the demo. Can you please, when you try the demo, make sure you press the B key and see if you can just infinitely spawn towers? Because if you can, it means I forgot to remove it. Because currently that's one of the cheat keys that I have, is if I press B, I can just spawn infinite towers without circumnavigate against the resource thing. Because it doesn't do a check for it. Fun fact, I never moved it for... I don't know what yours is. But Godot has a feature flag that says in editor. Unreal probably has one. The issue is I actually have no idea where I defined this. Okay, so this is the max number of towers that we can have. I'm curious to see what the performance is currently like. Like, how well did Unreal statically that? Because fun fact, they all have collision and they don't need to have collision. Oh yeah, that's something players find in the first hour of release. Performance, what's performance? True. Stat, FPS. It's 45 FPS. It's fine. Fun fact, those are all ticking. I just realized that every single one of those, even though they're not doing anything, they're all ticking. That's great. It's on actually 45 FPS for while I'm streaming in editor on a 4K monitor is not bad, and I'm set to scalability I think is high. So it sounds bad, but it's actually not too bad. Also, remember that that's without frame gen, so it's currently running better than Borderlands 4. Just saying. Set to remove the evil mode with spamming emotes, so I gotta do it here. Fair enough. I understand, Tempted. I understand. Wait, that just reminded me. Where did I put... Oh, I put it under there. Hold on, I have to move it to this side. Hey, Tempted, can you do that again? Just like a few more. Ah, perfect, thank you. Sorry, I had to fix the vertical mode because I realized that I have it in vertical mode, but... Ah, secure, thank you. But I forgot to... I had the song and the song and the show number of things on top of one another. I know that makes so much sense. Teta thinks he's getting less views because YouTube thinks he's a bot with spam, something like that. Really? It's funny because I find with YouTube that the long form video, as I would call it, oh, Twitch, interesting. Ah, I don't know. I didn't actually. Maybe. I don't know. The like YouTube vertical streaming does a lot better than the other one, whatever you call it. But I find that the vertical one actually gets you more exposure because there's people are more likely to click on it because they're kind of forced into clicking on it because it just you see it when you doom scroll. That's an interesting point, Temptic. It might thinks he's a bot with spam, or it's possible. I mean, it's possible. Well, here's the thing. How do your streams perform? Do you find your streams perform when people are or aren't spamming? Because yesterday there was very little spam in the chat and performed about the same-ish. But then again, most of the people coming into my chat are the regulars. The March of the Towers. Who's this that's complaining? Yeah, you're gonna get updated. I don't actually really care about that. I've forgotten what I was doing. Oh, I was looking at pooling. We were discussing pooling, but then I forgot what I was doing. Right, so we have a pool. So we have an array of enemies that are sort of pre-spawned. So these are the pre-spawned ones. Actually, we don't even see technically. Do I want to pre-spawn them? You could also look into having a low quality pool that takes up less memory. The nice thing about the pool is also the memory. If you pre-allocate a bunch, they're also in the same memory block, which is good. If there are many creatures on the map, no one is going to see that much detail anyway. Well, it is a good point, Sukilos. I'm actually not sure what I'm doing for the enemies at the moment yet. Because I have the ones that I currently have in. I've been looking at some of the ones on Fab. I'm thinking of maybe changing them to look something. Like I found this one, but the problem is it exists only on its own. It's not part of a set, and I kind of need to get a set of enemies that look within the same theme. Hello, how are you doing? Aquil, is that how you say that? So there's this type of enemy, which I thought could be a good idea. Then there was this set, which is actually quite low quality, but for the distance, I think this is actually perfect. And this one actually comes in a set. It's quite expensive, the whole set. It's about 100 something pounds. But it gives me access to quite a few enemies. And if I can find enough with that similar-ish theme, then this would be perfect. Because at the moment we have... I also found this one, but I was unsure by it. We have a lot of these ones that I'm using, or I can use. I'm unsure if they really fit the vibe. Like we've got the rock golem one, which I actually think is really nice. He's probably one of my favorite ones. There's some minions. This was the other type of theme that I thought could work quite well, but then I feel like the towers don't quite fit into the world. But then I thought to myself, the idea is that you're almost with the towers, you're on almost an alien, planet as is. So you're not trying to fit into their world. You're trying to see a world of as long as the world matches them, then it looks fine. This guy doesn't quite match. This one, not as well. That one kind of matches. But yeah. So what I need to do now, because we press start. We've got that guy. He walks at a good speed now. We can destroy him. He dies and then he stops. Now we need to implement that. I can spawn a bunch of them and it's pooled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to implement a basic pooling system. So we'll preload, let's say, preload 10 enemies. Okay. So maybe do that. So preload 10 enemies. Then we'll request from the pool. And when they die, we'll add them back to the pool. So I'll need to add a timer. On death, we'll do, let's say, a 3 second, let's go 2 second timer. Return to pool. Oh my god. Teleport and return to pool. And then on spawn, we'll go like this. So on spawn, call reset state, and which will set the animation, set the health, all that kind of reset all the health, and it will also and we'll need to teleport it to the starting location. So teleport to starting location like that. Nice. So that's the two things we want to do. So that's basically the basic implementation for a pool. There was another thing. We need to add like a variable. Pretty sure we need to add a variable to, because technically all enemies exist inside the pool. They don't actually get deleted from that pool. And everything is just pointed to it. We should keep a value on the enemy, BP enemy, something like is available to, is available, no, is in use, is in use. Okay. So we'll have an is in use flag, which basically tells us that it's being used in the pool, that it's, well, that it's a library book that's been taken out the library. I don't know why I'm changing analogies halfway through, but you kind of get what I mean. Is active. Yes, thank you. Bitcoin, thank you for that. I'm trying to make these elaborate, fancy names, and you come in with is active, like the simplest, most elegant name you could come up with. I'm gonna add that in the C++ because there's no reason for it not to be. And we'll just do that at the bottom. Also, how are you doing today? Are you well? Equals false. This is used for the object pool. Nope, not there. There. This can be blueprint. Yeah. Is get is active. Return is active. Should we make this one a blueprint pure as well? Maybe. Not fun. Void. set value bool value do that is equal to b exact is equal to value. Are you unhappy? What's wrong with you? This is going to be pooling object. Why are you unhappy? Don't be unhappy, just be happy. It's not allowed for functions with no return value. Return 0. Fine. Where did I go? There we go. And let's rebuild that. I'm going to rebuild it that way. Unreal really doesn't like having the header file changed. I've been struggling with the pathfind for enemies in the C# game I'm working on. Probably have to redo the entire prototype tile map builds to define a walkable. That's frustrating. So I'm assuming you're using A* because that's the most common one. Are you using a sort of, since you mentioned tiles, you're using a grid system for that? It's like the problem Crimson was having that day. Right, okay. I was actually thinking the other day about how to implement a non-linear path. So at the moment I'm using a spline for detecting if, because the route is the same, I was using a path for the enemies to get to the end. But that actually got me thinking about how to go about implementing a more dynamic system. So if I had this, grid, but I didn't have these blocks here, how would I allow the player to place these down? Because initially I wanted to do that. And I suddenly realized that with my current system where they follow a spline, I could probably use a similar system if I implemented an A*, just because what I would do is when the player puts down a new block, we would then just recalculate the path once and give it to all the characters or the AI. Because the AI already do a get distance along the spline, which basically just goes, I'm at this position, what is my distance along the spline? And we could just then re-update and then we'd carry on moving. So that is actually very doable. I'm not going to touch that now, but it might be something I might look into where it could be a fun project, fun thing to add. I might add that as a DLC at some point or something. It's a grid. The AI is pathfinding, but whenever there's an obstacle on the ground, it's not actually pathing around it. So it's doing shortest path, but it's not correctly doing the bounds, the object bounds correctly, whatever it's called. That's quite a frustrating one. I'm guessing you've marked that tile as, all that grid tiles, not usable or whatever it calls it. Or I wonder if what it's doing, because I have no idea how you've implemented it. But if this is our grid, and you said that the whole area is usable, but now you said that that area is no longer usable. And you've said that that's the start and that's the end. So what it's done is it gets to here and it says it's not usable, but the others are usable. So instead of going round, it thinks that it can just do that instead. That is still, that distance there is still valid. I don't know, probably not. If I use a map object, it's just running into the object using, because it has pre-calculated that path. It already in the that's already the fastest. But I put the object on hold for a few days and come back to it. I've put the project on hold. That could be very good. Just, you know, give yourself time to sort of have it mull over in the back of your head, think about other ways of trying to do it. Interesting. Because what I do want to have a way of being able to have a map where you can kind of build it out yourself. That was the initial plan for the project, but I realized I was actually going about it completely wrong. And now I've kind of learned enough to realize a better way of implementing it, where not every AI doesn't have to implement A star itself. You can just have a manager that implements it and then tells everyone where to go. But let's see. What I'll do is I will implement this current one, get it all working, and then we can see if we even want to go down that route. So now all my enemies should have a get is active, which they do. So what we will do then is in the enemy manager, let's create a pool. Technically I already have to. We're gonna have two because I don't want to have to. It's fine. We'll just copy this for now. Let's call this the spawn. So get event begin play. There we go. So on event begin play, we don't do that. Actually, no, that's fine because that's just something else. We will go and let's create a custom class. Do we want a custom event? Yes, we do. We want a custom event. Build pool. Bitcoin, what are you going to do while you wait? Are you going to just take off time from doing dev altogether, or are you going to... What's what I'm looking for? Or are you going to work on another part of the project? It could be something as simple as setting up an update function that tells the Pathfinder the environment has changed. Yeah. Funny enough, that's exactly how I'm going to do it when I implement it, is when you place a block down, similar to how we do that, on that placement command, it'll then update it. I gave it weirdly a lot of thought this morning that what I would want is the blocks to like reverse disintegrate. I don't know how else to explain other than they reverse, that they like unvaporize into the world. And by doing that, the idea being that while that's happened or happening, or actually in the instant that you do that, it then reruns it and knows that that block is you can no longer use, so it has to recalculate. You maybe need a callback from the map object that calls the update or causes the update function to be called. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Or I would use a delegate. but I like delegates, so that might be my problem. I've got a few things to work on. Right now, I'm trying to set up a Minecraft server with a neat system for plugins configuration. Oh, interesting. Sorry. The reason I'm super excited about that is I'm actually looking at doing that possibly soon. Probably sometime before the end of the year. So are you using a particular program to do that? So I think there's something called... it starts with a P. It's the name of a dinosaur. What is it? Pterodactyl. I think it's pterodactyl. Minus. Are you using pterodactyl to handle that, or are you using a different system to handle that? Delegate is a callback. Microsoft just wanted to be different. Fair. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I actually never made that connection. Actually, wouldn't a callback be you have a function, it does some stuff, and then it would return something back, whereas a delegate is sort of separated, where it's more of the broadcast system. It's an event system more than a sort of callback in C#. Okay, this is the C++ side, should I say? Maybe there needs to be that distinguishment. This is custom from the ground up. I've set up a Docker for running Floria with all the configurations using a REST API through a website and modern display for all key values to be configured. That's pretty cool. Is that a sort of a Minecraft server for yourself? Or what are you planning to do with it? Is it just for your friends? Because I'm actually in the process of building a server that I'm going to be using for Minecraft and a bunch of other things. The case for it arrives hopefully on Monday. I still need to buy the rest of the components, but that's future me's stuff to do. For myself to begin with, if it works out, I could publish it to GitHub probably. Okay, cool. If you do, let me know. I'd be keen to check that out and see how it works. Okay, so we're going to build the pool. Initial pool size. That's going to be an int. And that's going to be... pick a random number 10. Get. Or... get. Vector. Spawn location. The idea is to vibe code the plugins using Claude Code with set instructions for good practices, error handling, reusability, self-explanatory naming conventions, and so on. Fair. I'd be quite curious to see how that works out. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Go add. The co-op near me sells hazelnut chocolate cereal for $1.25 a box. What? How? What do you... I'm gonna eat every one of them. The last maybe like 2 weeks. In London, I get a monster for £1.29. What? I bought cereal this morning, no, yesterday, which is why I'm complaining. And a box, how much was the box? The box was, it was £2.5 and it said 10 servings. I'm like, my dude, this box is not 10 servings. This box is, if it lasts 4 days, I'll be surprised. And that's 4 servings. They do great stuff. Oh, that's actually a good idea. The box is 4 servings. It said 10 servings on the box. I was like, there's no ways this is 10 servings. Unless when you add something to it, it multiplies it by 100%. There is no ways this is 10 servings. Flora is a paper fork that allows multi-threading for Minecraft server, but it's known for being incompatible with most plugins. I need to make a note of that because that would be pretty cool to do. So if I go and I open Obsidian, I'm going to make a new tab for my Minecraft related stuff. New folder, Minecraft. Notes. Or the size of your stomach. They don't take into the account of the size of your bowl. Multi threading is king and must have a large server for the future. It runs fine for 100 plus players. Because I'll be getting basically all the components for my first sort of server this next 2 months. Then after I've got that and I've got some more money, I'm going to be building another server for no other reason than because I can. Why? Why would you do that? I'm essentially trying to make all the good decisions early on. Making excellent platform for scalability. True. That's a good idea. That's very good. This is a hard challenge, Hexer. Very stressed now. Servers are cool. I have SM of them. Banning the word just as he's talking about building a server is crazy. One of them has 192 gigs of RAM that I'm going to upgrade to 1.5 terabytes. What are you doing with it that you need that much RAM? Tell me your secrets. Let's make this number 1,500. 500. And what we also need to do before we add it use it as a NAS and use RAM disk for caching. So the RAM is level 1 for the server. What's wrong with inserting a list of dominance via RAM? Fair enough. So you can saturate the entitling speed. Fair. Only thing I've not decided upon yet is what service to use for exposing the IP address. I'm thinking of Cloudflare or PatchNet as lower bandwidth too. Good point. I have heard good things about Cloudflare. Didn't they set a record this week where they stopped like 1.5 terabytes of an active denial of a service attack? I'd be limited by the speed of your network card or the speed of the RAM itself. 7.2. Imagine the engineers sitting there going, "Oh, it's working, god damn." Use it for your self-hosted websites. So I know it's good, but the cost might get out of hand. Fair. That's the thing. That's per second. We need to call. I forgot. Where are you? New custom event. Set initial state. Initial state. There we go. Nice. Cool. Your cat is loafing with half her body on your leg and half of the arm on the rest of my chair. Nice. That's very cute. I can't believe I survived that. That was beyond stressful. Thank you for that, Hexic. It took about 2 months off of my life. So initial state means that we want to go in here, set the... We technically want the same thing. That. So we've got the initial state. We set the visibility of that, and we set what else? Now I wonder, this sets the animation, but does it... We don't need this actually. Can we pause an animation? So can I set animation pause? Pause. These? Stop? Does that work? What does this do? These changes the animation state instant, which is transferring data. You ever see those wiggly cakes that Asian bakeries make? She's like that right now. Ah, cute. I wonder if this works. Does this work? So we're going to do that. We're going to set the health bar to not visible. Set up initial state. Set up play state. So Control-C, Control-V. Set up play state. So play state will be this, but visible. We'll need to reset its health. Get max health. Max. Set health. Health. But that's the health bar widget. Health bar. Wait, I'm an adult. I can get cereal at 4 p.m. True. I did the opposite. I had pizza for breakfast. Pizza for breakfast sounds great. That's not what I want. Reduce health. Health bar. Is that? Don't I have a function? Here, there we go. Let's make this collapse into a function. Date. Set up initial health bar. Set up health bar. I ordered a pizza from Just Eat for breakfast last Thursday. It was so good. I put it in the air fryer for a minute and it makes the crust a little crispy. Air fryers can actually save bad crust. Oh, that's good to know. Force out moisture that makes it chewy. Part of me wants to now buy pizza just so I can have it tomorrow for breakfast, but it's not going to last till tomorrow, so it's kind of pointless. Because if I buy pizza, there's no ways I'm going to leave it for long enough. Unless I buy it after dinner, then I'll leave some of it for tomorrow. Not all of it, but some of it. I easily eat half a pizza, large pizza, after it's delivered. Exactly. Then again, I could just do that, just order a large pizza, because I usually just order a medium-sized pizza in the UK now. Today I had a bacon cheeseburger with fries and onion rings. That sounds so good. Oh, I could go for that. The place I get pizza from, they make the crust so light and fluffy. You're making me want pizza now. Set up initial state. That's what we want. So we want to go to enemy manager, set up initial state, which should hide all the things that should be hidden. Like that. Yeah. The place I get pizza from, oh no, I already read that. Even the extra cheese and pizza feels like I'm eating air. Pizza flavored air. That does sound good. And then I had golden syrup sponge pudding with chocolate ice cream. Damn, you ate really good today, Crimson. I had fish fingers for lunch. That was the highlight of like my day, is I had fish fingers. Just pull the pool. Just pull. Crimson gets a reward for putting up with Unreal Engine's bullshit for the week. Fair. Hello, Tanner. Yes, I can feel you under my feet. What ails you, my child? I mean, she's only coming to me because she wants a snack. Okay, so we build the pool. We first index is wrong. That should be there. So we set up the pool. We create 10 of these. We do that, and we set is active. Set is active to false. Right? And we add it to the pool. Fantastic. So we can move you there. Like that. We put that in there. And we can move that there. So is it active? No. That should be everything we need. Then that builds the spawn pool. Then we're gonna have a function. Let's create a function. Get enemy. Get unused enemy. So that's going to go through here. For each with a break. And what we're going to do is we're going to go get is active branch. If it's okay, now what do I want? I can never remember which way it is. So did you guys notice you have serial? Oh, nice. Did you guys notice that substrate is going to become the new default material setup for 5.7? That's going to be a huge shift. Oh, I did not know that. I should probably really look into substrate then, because I don't think I know enough about substrate. Did she get her tuna for the weekend? For the weekend, like, where is she? What time is it now? There should be an ad break soon, so I'll go in the ad break and I'll give her some tuna. She's currently having a tuna and salmon. That's the current tin that I opened this morning for her. It's funny, she'll go for a nap, she'll wake up, and she'll be like, you know what I want? I want a nice snack. So she'll come to me, move around my feet, and she's either sitting, yeah, she's sitting right next to me. Hold on. Let's see if I can send a picture of this on Discord. Hello. I'll post it on the Discord. Where's the pets folder? That's it. She's sitting right next to me, waiting for her tuna. She's like, bro, what the hell, man? That look, I know, right? How long is the ad break? Ads are in 6 minutes. Maybe I'll go do it quickly. I did some research, and you don't want to mix substrate with PRB material together in a scene. It can cause issues. It's best to do 100% of one or the other. That's kind of going to be frustrating. Crimson, you're using 5.6. Have you noticed much of an issue with the changing of the from left-handed, the left-handed up approach that they're using? So get is active. So if it is active, we can't use it. So let's do not boolean. So if it, no, not that one. I want the not boolean, like this not boo. Not. Why is that not the default option? So there. So if it is active thing, so then what we can do, why up? Disgusting. I know, Jedem. I know, right? I'm not happy about the change. How are you doing today, Jedem? It's already started confusing me because I play around with UEFN and that's got it flipped. But I noticed that in UEFN, they've flipped it in the editor, but haven't flipped it in the code. So in the code, when you try and modify it for what you're getting from the editor, it doesn't work. I spent like 30 minutes debugging this thing only to discover that they forgot, they haven't then implemented it in the code yet. And I was like, well, why? I'm good. So I'm glad to hear that. I still have Z as up, works so much better for my brain. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, but it should be fine. So if it's true, then we can... Wait for real. Epic mentioned that they would be tools to convert easily. They said there would be tools to convert easily, but they seem to have done it in parts and not other parts, which is great. Fine. Yes, do it in some parts. But it's, at the moment, I don't know. It's a bit of hit and miss as to where it is or isn't implemented. It seems it's partly implemented in the editor. I have seen in the 5.61 editor that it's in some places. Hi, Silent, been lurking, but got to head off now. See you soon. Thank you, Riley. See you soon. Keep well. Or what about the people who don't want to convert and just keep Zias up? Good luck. I have a project that we work on for work, and we use a lot of vectors. And in theory, it should not make much of a change because we could just change like the internal vector to handle it for us. But I'm curious to see what's going to break. So then, I assume the amount of work to be able to change between them would be a nightmare. It could be, but it depends on what level Unreal does it, like where they do the new, conversion. But I'll be right back. Let me go give the cat some tuna. I have returned and the cat has her tuna. Yay, tuna. Since I'm doing mesh-based UI and stuff, like, for example, with my menu system, changing Y to Z is instead is a nightmare. All of my UI will be... all my UI is in the world. In theory, Crimson, the change should come in and should not affect you at all. In theory, but let's see. There's a part of me that thinks it won't be that big of a deal when it actually rolls out. Does vector math really care which way is up as long as your vectors all have the same format? Yes, because at the moment, for example, we use, in some calculations, we were using Z as the, depending on which orientation you use, if I'm not mistaken, you use Z as the up vector. So if they change Y to now be the up vector, that math is then wrong. Not quite, because some of the elements are being dynamically generated, like for the drop downs. Oh, right. It might be worth you getting 5.7 then to check what the changes are like then, to see how much of an impact it has. So for example, Sigilos, I know that I've done vector math where I specifically treated something like the Y value, the Z value as the up. So if they now go and change that, that math will no longer work. Or at least I don't see how that math would work. So we want to return node. How will this work? But wouldn't the whole world be rotated? I hope not. In theory, no. It should just, the world should stay exactly the same as it was. But when we click on the object, if we try and change its Z value, it'll just change to different axes. That's how I've understood the change. Does this work? Well, your math is wrong in the same rotation, then it shouldn't affect specific functions in the scope. Yeah, maybe actually. You might be right. I guess we'll find out when we implement it and you hear how much screaming I do. Sounds like a solid text. Does this work? Because we've got a loop with a break, right? Because as far as I know, if you don't use that, the loop will still function even after the function's gone out of scope. I suppose. I'm still surprised the 5.7 roadmap has nothing about metahumans in it. Because 5.7 is soon. It's before the end of the year, isn't it? Or is it only next year? It's funny because at work we're just about to implement 5.6, I think on Monday. Let's see if this works. Object reference. This logic should all stay the same. This should change. Wait, I have to change this. Delete that. Delete that. Let's create a local variable. Remote to local variable, that. If it's true, we set it to that, right? And we're always going to return the local variable. F2 local underscore enemy. There's a change coming to the orthographic camera about the clipping where you actually have a slider that makes a bit more sense that I'm quite keen for. Because working with orthographic mode can be very... it's a pain. So, if is valid, right? We return here. Otherwise, if it's not valid, that means we actually haven't gotten one. So now we're going to take this. Spawn and add to pool. Actually, I want to keep that as it is for now. Put this in here. Go like this, because now we add it to the pool. And we go and so add it to the pool. We add it there. We add it there. We add that there and that there. So we add it to the pool. Man, this is some janky work. Okay, there we go. So
everybody else could see the way we were living in a fantasy. When I kiss her, I don't know where we're going. I don't know at all. I don't know how we're going. I'll be moving. I'll be moving on. Gotta let it go. Living on my own.
wish I didn't have to re-log into my Epic account every few days on Fab. It's frustrating as well. It remembers my device. It's terrible, and I know other people have the same problem. I think I was complaining about that like 2 or 3 streams ago, but yeah, I have the same problem. And just don't get why it never seems to remember it or doesn't cache it. I'm not sure if there've been like security problems and that's why they just keep like force logging us out. But like it's highly frustrating that every time I seem to open up Fab, I have to relog in. Like yesterday, I was browsing Fab, and I'd used Fab on Tuesday because I'd claimed all the free assets for the week. By the way, if you haven't done so already, make sure to claim the free assets for Unreal Engine. And then yeah, I went on yesterday and I had to log in again, and I was just like, but why? Also, if you guys don't know, because I just assumed everyone knew, but maybe not. On the Discord, if you join the Discord, there's a free Fab free assets where Hexit built a plugin, and if you go into the roles channel, you can sign up for do you want the Fab notifications, and that will give you a tag that then will announce I think it's every 2 weeks on a Tuesday when the new Fab updates are out. Because I kept forgetting, and Hexit was like, I'll make a bot for that. And I was like, yay. Wouldn't it have made more sense if we just went straight out like that? And then just went like this, and then just went bam, like that. Well, now we can use the break. There we go. That makes much more sense. Okay, so we come in, we get the list of enemies, we check if the current one is active. So if it's not, we set it to true, we break. We check if it's valid, just because that was the easiest way I could make sure that we have a value set there. If it's valid, we return out and we're done. If not, we come in here, we set up the initial state, we set it to not be active. We set that to our local variable, we add it to the spawning pool so that we can actually use it again, and then we return the local variable. So then what we will do is inside of here, where we actually spawn the enemies, we've got this code, this. So we shouldn't need any of this now. So we go here. Actually, hold on. We don't need... Wait, we still need a lot of this. My bad. Whoops. Okay. We get the blueprint thing. We set that. Fine. We add one to the spawning queue. When we complete the spawning queue, we go through and do this. But instead of spawning this, instead of doing that, we call our function, which I thought we had, get unused enemy, which will return a new one for us. We will say that that unused enemy is now set active. Set is active for object building. Oh, I'm so glad I named that with a good category and everything. So it's now active. We'll go like that. And we will add it to this. So, and then, set actor location, which will be one. Yeah, we can do that. So that should be everything we need to set up this pool. Now, what we'll do is we have no way of returning it back to the pool. Let's add some debug. And we'll do AAA like this. We'll call this pool object pool. Given an enemy from the pool. That. We're not going to give it a key because we want to know every time this happens. And we're going to give it a green color for good. That. Then, because I have nowhere else to do this, we'll do it from there. That. Object will spawned new enemy. And that's technically bad. Let's make it, actually, let's make it like an orange. It's not too bad, but it's not the worst. Okay, so there's that. Actually, this can just go there. This can just go there. Cool. So that's going to tell us a bit of information about where we're getting the variables. Now, how this should currently work is it should go, the first 10 should come from the pool, and then it should start spawning new ones not because we haven't killed them, but because we haven't actually returned them to the pool. So let's just check that this works before we do anything else. And then I'm gonna have to move all of this. I want to move all this to C++ because I think it would just be a bit better. So move on tick. Also, we want to see, does the tick work? Are they being added to that group properly? Because we'll need to start removing them from this. And then we can check how well arrays actually get resized. Fine. So we build the pool, we do all of that. That's all fine, but what did I want to do? Oh, spawn count, that's all I want to do. Let's spawn 15. So, when I click begin play now, we should see the enemy spawn somewhere. Okay, we've just loaded some, and they exist there, which is... what is their position? 500. Oh, is that supposed to be minus 500? Why did you start moving when I did that? You know what we could do? Let's make this even better now. So we've got this enemy manager. The start location is going to be minus 500. Let's make it minus 750, so they're really under the ground. What I didn't want was to make them really, really, really far away, because then Unreal's keeping track of... because I'm not sure if it actually makes it worse having something that exists that's super far away from your scene, that Unreal's like, what am I doing with this thing? So I'm hoping that because it's under the ground, Unreal's deciding nothing to do with it. But what we can do is, in the setup initial state, we stop the animation and we say set visible to false. So now what should happen is this object exists in the world, but it's actually invisible. There's nothing. Because remember that we've got, we're not showing the, what do we call that thing? We're not showing the health bar. We're not showing the skeletal mesh. So it's just an object that exists in the world that has this information, but from a render point of view, it should have little to no effect. Let's tick propagates to children. Then what we'll do is we'll take this and set up a place state. So now will be visible. We'll propagate that to the children. Why are you unhappy? Oh, you need a mesh. Storm, hello. How are you doing today? I got a new keyword so I can finally work on a reel. Yes! What keyboard did you get? I love getting new keyboards, but the problem is, I find with keyboards is they don't break very often. Well, I currently have the Corsair ones, and they don't almost break often enough for my liking. I know that sounds weird, but the problem is that they last too long. So it's a weird thing to say that keyboard, I mean, my last Corsair lasted like more than 8 years. I think closer to 10 years. The only reason I changed it is because one of the keys no longer pressed, and I was like, good excuse to get a new one. They're a bit hit or miss. This is a cheap one on brand, but it's actually solid RGB and it was like $15. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're hiding the enemy and we're showing the enemy, but am I calling set up player state? So that should be done here. Where are you? Set is active. And then we also want to set up play state. So now we're like, yeah, ready to play. What might be better to do at some point is I'll actually just have a series of enums for the different states that these can be in. And when we call set state, we just set what state we want to be in. And then that will handle internally, change to this, change to that, do all the things we do. So instead of having 3 different functions I'm trying to call, I just go call set state. I do this state, that state, that state. And it makes it a bit more easier to follow, because at the moment I've got to keep track of like, what are the 3 functions I need to keep. Whereas if I just use a state system, I could just go set state. What are the options? Okay, done. I had the same brand before, but it was a mechanical and it was like 50. I kind of like this one better because it's not loud when typing. I actually enjoy I enjoy the mechanical because it's a bit louder, but I press my keys very hard. And it's funny, so the new keyboard that I got is one of the ones where it requires very little pressure to actually register key press. So what ends up happening is you'll often see my default rest position is on the A, the W, the S, and the D key. And because of that, every now and then you'll just see I'll press W in something. So for example, I'll just start pressing that because I'm just slightly resting on there. Cool, so I got a Razer Black Widow keyboard. I really like it. I had Razer many years ago, but I had an issue with, I had a Razer Mamba mouse and I had issues with it. And so I never actually went back to Razer because of it. That looks nice. Part of the reason I got my current keyboard is because it comes with G keys, which I now actually don't use very much anymore. Mine's the opposite. It's so new, it's kind of stiff on the spacebar, so I miss that sometimes. Fair. I love that I switched to the Steel Series a year ago, never looked back, used the Black Widow for 10 plus years, had to replace regularly because I spilled on it. Oh yeah, that does occasionally happen, doesn't it? Also, have you gone through the process of like actually cleaning your keyboard? So for my keyboard, I've got a keycap so I can remove them. Oh, helpful tip, if you ever decide to clean your keyboard, take a photo of it with your phone so you know where every button works. I haven't made this mistake yet because I luckily thought to myself, you know what, let me just check. You regularly spilt on it. What I discovered about spilling stuff on keyboards is, so my tea I don't drink with any sugar. And sometimes I drink a type of tea that I don't put milk in either, which means that when I spilt that, because there was no sticky residue, as long as I let the keyboard dry, it was fine. But if you took something like Coke and you spilt it on the keyboard, absolute nightmare to clean. Okay, let's see. Does this work? So we spawn 10. Fantastic. And we don't see them. In theory, if I go to the ground now, we should not see any of them. But they should exist in the world. There's our 10 enemies. So, performance draw should be extremely low. The only possible thing that could be having an effect is they technically have a collision mesh. You know what? My last keyboard went out due to liquid, not from the keyboards, but the USB connections. Yeah. If you spill something on a keyboard, you need to unplug it. What I always do is I unplug it immediately, and then I tip it upside down so that gravity starts at least pulling it back out. Then I'll start removing all the keys and all that stuff, and I'll try and sort of get it as clean as I can. Some survived milk energy drinks, but I didn't bother cleaning them out, and the keys were literally sticky often. Ugh, that would drive me absolutely mad. I would not be able to deal with the keyboard like that. Also, I spawned more than 10. Anyway. I have an external to make it 10 feet, so it lays across the floor. I do want to get a new Razer keyboard, as mine is getting old now. That's a bit too loud for my liking. Had it for 5 years. There was a Logitech keyboard that I tried many, many years ago, and I don't know what it was, but it had such a sort of light touch to it. And it was like mechanical, but like very, very quiet. It was more like laptop than anything else. It was very nice to use, but I never got the name of it. I got one backup keyboard I got one backup keyboard at all times now. Same with the mouse and headphones. Actually, funny enough, I have a spare, I think I have 2 spare keyboards, both wireless, funny enough. And they have mice with them. I think I've got a pair of wireless headphones. No, I do have a pair of backup wireless headphones. No, not wireless, actually they're wired. My mouse has the DPI button right below the wheel. I have to click it and it speaks with the cursor. Actually, where are mine? No, my DPI buttons are next to the mouse. They're on the left of it. So I don't press it too often. Right, so now, if I go back into this, if I press start, it should teleport. It should start playing the animation. So it doesn't play the animation. Wait, spawned object pool. Why is it spawning a new one? It shouldn't have spawned a new one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But it spawned 3. How many enemies do we have? We've got 21 enemies. I guess my pool's not working. Okay. One thing at a time. We need to reset its initial state to actually being able to walk. Spawn enemies, get actor of class, BP visualizer, that's fine, that's fine. I decided my attacks need to have a cooldown for powerful stuff, so I made an energy system, and I'm making an energy crystal overlay in Photoshop. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Let me show me what the energy crystal in Photoshop, the overlay thing looks like when you're done. I'd be keen to see that. Full size -1. So that I don't have to worry about the amount. Actually, instead of doing that, you just do this, and then you just say that the start index is 1. Because I want 10 enemies, but I don't want to have to do math. Because it starts at 0, if I say 10, it's going to do 11. But yeah, anyway, so what do we currently have? We've got the move, which is actually working fine. This spawn system, which is doing something weird, we're going to have to fix that. Cider, you were live the whole time. Why? I was struggling with Unreal Engine for hours. If you don't have the notifications turned on, Boom, how are you supposed to know that I'm live? If you go into the Discord and you go to the roles and you go to over here, you can get the free fab notifications, and if you go over here, you can get the stream notifications, and then you'll always be there. My whole Discord notifications are disabled. Okay, never mind. That won't work. I'm sorry. I'd say I'd send you a message on Discord, but that's not going to help you either, Boom. How many blueprints need the what? How many blueprints need the making a game like Split Fiction? What is Split Fiction? A lot. Actually, no, that's quite doable. As long as you don't want to do it. If you don't want to do multiplayer, it's fine. If you want to do it on the same PC, that's actually not too, it's not too hard. It's a bit of work. It's quite a bit of work. It's a lot of blueprints. It's doable, but you'd have to first learn how to make a simple game. Don't touch that until you've learned to make a simple game. What is the problem you're having, Boom? I figured out how to edit a marketplace plugin and then rebuild it. Ooh, I don't even know how to do that. When are you providing the lessons, Boom? How much are you charging for these lessons? This game looks so pretty. Oh, I think Bubbles was playing this the other day, actually. I want this game. Sorry, flashbang. Also, Boom, if you're struggling with Unreal Engine for hours, you could just message me on Discord. Also, Hexic, since you're back, your whatchamacallit works really well. Making an environment like that, how difficult? Making the environment isn't too difficult. The issue is getting the assets for the environment. I find, like, with a lot of the environment stuff, it's getting the assets is the biggest issue, and having a clear direction of how you want to lay out the assets and make it look like that. Now I can have big emote images from chat. Ooh. I want cheesy beans on toast, but I have no beans and our mum is making food. Move out next year, so I'll have 100 tins of tea. Have you seen there's a Twitch streamer and her chat keeps sending her beans and she's got this like pyramid of beans behind her on the stream. I don't know where it was, but I saw it recently. I thought that was quite funny. But ArtStation is a good place to find environments if you want to sort of see how you want to lay out an environment. So it's very good for that. Copy the plugin from the engine folder to your plugin folder. Delete the binaries. Make change in Visual Studio rebuild. I told you, Boom is going to take over the C++ side from us every day. Any day now. That's very straightforward. So the Lyra plugin that I was complaining about, all I needed to do is just copy that into my project and then I'm done. Well, I can do that. Send you 2 pictures, the original and the altered one. Nice, let me have a look. But yeah, Emperor, have a look at... There's also lots of YouTube videos about how to make environments. So if you're wanting to do something like that, you'll need to start with learn how to use blueprints and then learn how to make environments. Modo using split faction. Hey, that looks so nice. How did you make that warping effect? I have no idea how you did. I have absolutely no idea how you did that in Photoshop. It looks really cool though. I was making a spawning pool today, Boone. Not in StarCraft, in Unreal Engine. And no, I'm not copying the StarCraft one. What was the bug that I had? I got distracted and I forgot. Oh, in the enemy. I need to go to the enemy base blueprint. Then we set up the health bar, we set the visibility, we set that. I need to set the death, Control V, Warlock, and then I took a crystal PNG, cut out the triangle, layered them on top of one another. That was very smart. That was a smart idea. I find it fascinating figuring out how people do some things in like Photoshop or in game dev, because people approach it differently, and then when you see how people do it, it's like, oh, that was smart. Then I merge them all together, alter the colors and everything. Nice. It looks really clean as well. Where am I? Okay. If I take this, and then I go like this, and then I go like this, and then I go like this, then I go like this. Oh, it works. Sweet. Where do I... So take that, play that, set that. Is this the initial state? Play state, yes. Then go walk animation. Take those two, do that, looping there. Death animation. Like that. Save.
Nothing could have prepared me for the high stakes heartbreak that surrounds me.
Okay, so what do we have now? We have, in theory, we have working object pooling. Actually, no, object pooling doesn't work, but that's fine. Ignore that. Start. They walk! They walk! Now let's attack them. Die! All of you die! This is awkward. I think it looks nice just having all the corpses on the floor, don't you? Pog. That wasn't the button I wanted. There we go, look at that. We just have, you know, death and carnage all over the floor. And as we travel down this lane, we have death on the right and a wall on the left. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. What's the FPS now? Yes. I don't know what key I pressed. There we go. Oh, this is the lighting mode. Oh, it looks so good. FPS. Stat. FPS. Apparently FPS can't be statted, so please try again later. Stat. This. 47, 46, 47. Make them ragdolls so the new ones will kick them out the way. No. Ragdolling is quite expensive, but that's a good idea. We could technically ragdoll, record the ragdoll, implement the ragdoll again, and then play the ragdoll. 46, which is not too bad. Ragdoll.
The demons unleashed from your mind hold me steady.
So they work. Now what we need to do is when they die, we need to add them back to the pool. Actually, what I first need to do is fix why when they spawn, my pool is going, my pool is deciding to build them and create them again. Are you running at 4K or 1080p? My entire screen is at 4K. This window is technically a subset of that, so it's a bit smaller. But what we can do is, let's do this, right? So let's go standalone game, save. Run. This is not going to work how I expected it to work. Oh no, never mind, it is. There we go. Alt enter. So this is at 4K now. Stat FPS. So we've got 40-ish FPS while running the stream at 4K with encoding, decoding, and everything else that's running. So about 40. We press start and let's put a whole bunch of towers down. High 40s. Well, not high 40s. High 30s. So 38, 37, 40. About 40-ish now. Honestly, considering that this is running at high as well, that's not too bad. All you need now are relative death animations, like if the one dies from a rocket, they explode into pieces. If it's electricity, they vaporize. That's a good point. That'd be pretty cool. My PC's from 2010. I need to upgrade, but Unreal actually runs well on it. I have a huge 4000 by 4000 island with lots of objects and NPCs. The one thing that takes a while loading the shaders on it, fair enough. I do that very late, functionality and performance first. Yes, exactly. That won't come for a while, but I'm quite happy with that overall. Considering that the pooling system actually doesn't work properly at the moment, because I think it's generating... Wait a minute. I don't think it's using the pool. I think it's making new ones. Not quite what I wanted, but okay, Unreal. Okay, so let's have a look. If I go, why are you broken? That's what I want to know. This one, F9. This is the wrong one. Yeah. Maybe that was the issue this whole time. I used the wrong... Ooh, I didn't use the right one. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Play. Start. How many in the pool? 10 are in the pool. What does it state? Is it used? Render actor, relevant, replicate, blah, 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 blah. None of the information I need. Get active. Is it active? Is true. It's not active, but we've done the Boolean opposite, which means that yeah, we did the Boolean opposite, which means that it is true, so that we can make the graph look. When did you get the name? I announced the name about 2 weeks ago. I did a whole video and everything about it. Wait, let me get to the video, because I'm very proud of the video. I think the video took me more than 24 hours worth of like actual work to get done, which is why I keep going on about it. It's my pride and joy. Here's the video for me. That was the announcement video that I made. I thought I was going crazy for a while. The crystal I made when I uploaded it to Unreal Engine was pure green. I had to change the compression setting to user interface for the transparency. Ah, right, yes. Ah, good old Unreal Engine. So now we've got a valid one. So we go over here, we break because we've got a valid one. So this should be valid, which it is. We say that object pool giving an enemy from the pool. Fine. Wait, how did that run the first time? Anyway, so then we come back here. We set it to active. We set the state. We add it to the enemy list, which should currently be empty. And we spawn it. Then we continue. We spawn the next one, which should be the same thing. Next. So, is it enemy pool has 10, but we get the first one, but the first one should not be active. Wait, what index are we at? Oh wait, no, it should be correct because this should be the second one in the list, because remember that it did that weird loop thing, because we're only checking this condition. We'll see in a second. I'll go back here. What's the name of this enemy now? Okay, Unreal Engine, do you zero index your enemy spawns? Yes, you do. So it is the second one. Fantastic. That means the pooling is currently working. So what I want to do next is... let's find out now, when do we actually spawn a valid enemy? So if I go continue, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, go in there. Good. We set the initial state, we do that, we set it locally, we add it to the pool so that we've got an additional one. We have that message, we go back out, and that should be everything inside my pool working. There we go. So now it's spawning new ones, loaded new image. Oh, that's loaded new image style there. So that is 15 enemies loaded into the game. 10 are pooled. Actually, technically they're all pooled. So now what I need to do is when I kill them, it needs to notify the enemy manager that it's being killed, to tell the enemy manager that it's been killed, to reset its state and move it back. And basically, it needs to kill it after some time and, yeah, do other things. So we've set up half the pooling system, which is exciting. Unreal is a live set. I was about to take 10 minutes, 10 numbers with outlines to show up on the energy thing, but there's a built-in stroke option for text. Oh yeah. Actually, in 5.7, they're doing an update to the rich text system, which looks like they're going to make it a lot more usable, because at the moment it seems kind of... what's the best word to use? Not archaic, but like hard to use. If that makes... yeah, basically it's a bit hard to use, and they look like they're simplifying and making it more... giving it a touch-up that it really needed. So I'm quite excited for that, so you can do some really cool things. I'm still on 5.5, scared to lose my project, fair enough. Adding the rich text with 3D components, which is something I'll be using a lot. Like I used to, like I use it for my text in the main menu. Okay. Do you back up your project? I use GitHub for my project, so I should back up my project, but currently my entire project is on GitHub. So for example, right now we can go and we can say, got started work on enemy pooling system, right? And then we can go and we say spawning is working, commit, push, and done. And there we go. Everything, all my changes are there. What that do, you can connect Unreal Engine to online source to save your data or project. My entire project is saved to the cloud or GitHub. So you'll see here, I've got reversion control created. So if I can go, well, it's connected, should I say, which means that I can do things like this. So if I go diff, there's all the changes that I've made to this class that I've committed. So for example, what did I do, you know, 4 days ago or whenever this was? And that will open up this window, which shows me that I made changes in here. So I changed the transformation. I added these new variables in here. I removed those ones. You can see that over there. I always thought GitHub was a downloading place. Can anyone upload your games? Like, it's open source? Yeah. So for example, here's my tower defense project. It's private, but you can see there's all the code. You don't upload everything to it. So for example, you have certain folders. So you will set up a ignore file and you can download these or I can send it to you if you want. And you'll see there's a lot of stuff that isn't needed because what you do is you don't have to upload all the build stuff for your project. You just use the variables that are needed to build your project. So for example, the source code for your project in the content folder, your assets and that kind of stuff are all able to be uploaded because when you download that again, you can then use Unreal Engine to rebuild your project. Environment variables? I don't think there are actually that many for Unreal Engine. So then what else do we have in here? So you'll see that, for example, in my content folder, that's where basically everything that I have lives. So I've got like brushes, core, and that corresponds to this, all this stuff that you're seeing here. Then for like the C++ side of that, I believe that is under the source. So there's a source folder, and that has all of my C++ code. I guess the main question is, if your PC disappears, could you get your exact project back? Yes, all I would have to do is download GitHub, sync the project, and install Unreal Engine, and I would be back up and running. So, for example, Marius was helping me out with stuff in Unreal Engine, so he's added as a contributor to this project. So if I go back to Tower Defense, you'll see here, there's 2 contributors. So he has access to just download my entire project from GitHub, pull the whole thing, open it up in Unreal Engine and Rider, and he can edit and do all the work. And what's nice is GitHub does, because it's source control, I'm going to look at back in my project GitHub. Yeah, I was just going to, so I just got to become a contributor to steal all your code. Yes, exactly. If you became a contributor, boom, you'd be able to just run my project and you would have all my code. Easy. And then you'd look through it and go, I have questions. Why would you do this? Why have you done this in that way? Password, trust me, bro. No, that's the old password. It's trust me, bro 2. You know, every 6 months you've got to change the password. But yeah, Storm, running it through some kind of source control is very good. Also, you can then, if I don't like these changes, I can just revert them. or I can go back to a different one. So for example, I can go, let's say I didn't like the AI pathing, I can go and cherry pick that and go and see what it looked like back at that point. So there's a complete history of every single change that I've made. So if you look here, I mean, that's just the last, like, where was it? There was a point here where I did Unreal, when I upgraded to Unreal Engine 5.5, that commit message is here. Man, how long ago was that? We have ads. Oh, that's powerful. It's very powerful. It's very good to use as well. I would advise it for basically everyone. And I'm working on a branch so that when I'm happy with the state of this, and what I'll do is I'll merge that back into main, because at the moment I can work on main without worrying that, because I wasn't sure if this path was even going to work. So it's like, make it in a branch and then try it out and then come back and be like, okay, this actually works. Great. So yeah, using GitHub for like Unreal Engine projects, very good. You do need to be careful with the size of assets that you submit, because they can't be over a certain size. But you've seen my project and I haven't actually run into that yet, which is good. So definitely worth, I would highly recommend it for people. I will be right back. Let's go to the bathroom. I'm back. I have any water left? I do. Sweet. So we've only got a small part left. Welcome back. Thank you very much. I think, I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I think we have one part left that I want to try and implement before we end stream. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Of the spawning pool, or the object pooling system, which is basically returning them back to the pool. Because once we've got that working, we've technically got a object pooling system working, and we can test that. And if that all works, great. I'm not sure what the next step was for that. I mean, technically it was to start implementing it for larger collections of enemies. So let's see, if we go back to, it's the health widget. No, when you go back to Unreal Engine, let's start with that. What was the, okay, so now we need what was the question? You know how in a widget you can grab an image and resize it? Do you know how to lock the X and Y so it scales equally? I'm over here trying to do math. Hold on, I have to find a widget for you. This one. So I'm assuming you've got an image, right? So here's an image. So this is not a variable. I'll make this a variable. Get image. Set scale. What if you just set render scale? Does that work? Which you can do, Storm, not in code, just in the designer. Just multiply each one by the amount that you want to adjust it. So for example, just pull out your, like, what you do is you just pull out your calculator. Where is it? Game dev, not that one. Game dev. Hello. Oh, there it is. That's what I need, multiplication. So let's say that you have 150, like x 150, and comma y, 400, for example. If you want to make it, I don't know how big you want to make it. If you want to make it half the size, you just multiply both by 0.5. If you want them to be 50% bigger, then just multiply it by 2. If, for example, you want this to now change to 200, but you want to keep that as the same aspect ratio, you do 150. Let me just see if I get the math for this correct. You go 200 divided by 150 is a third. So if you go 150 times 1.33, you get to almost 200. So now you know that if you times 400 by 1.3 with a lot of threes, that's the same percentage increase for the other one. I was overthinking it because of decimals. Nah, just multiply it by that. And fun fact, in Unreal Engine, if you have a scale like this, you can just times it in here. You don't actually have to do it yourself. So if I want to make this half the size, I just go 0.5 there. And then I go times 0.5 here. And that will do it for both for me. Because you can do math inside of this. Oh no, what was this? 125? Whoops. Diff. What's in the depot? 125. Okay, it is correct. Save. Designer. This seems wrong though. It's 120. That seems better. So then that, we can go back here, set that no longer as a variable, and there should actually be no changes left on this. How do you know this? Because I just accidentally tried it one day. I was like, I wonder if you can do this, because it would make it a lot easier. And because it's an input field and it has a number, usually that means that you can do weird things like multiplication in them. You can multiply, you can divide. Because what I would do a lot of the time when I was setting up levels is I would go like plus 500 or plus 100 so that I could move it that number each time. So yeah, so basically, yeah, in Unreal Engine, with the let's do it this way. So in Unreal Engine, with the number fields, you are able to do mathematical operations on them. So you can go times 5, you can go divided by 2. Or you can just add like some number to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not even sure where I learned that. I just know it. Right, I need to fix my pooling situation. So how does the base enemy tell the blueprint manager that, yo, I have moved into the afterlife and I need you to do whatever you need to do to me? How do we do that? We could broadcast, but then we don't have the exact one. So let's cheat. BP enemy manager. Let's see if we can just keep a pointer to it. BP. Yeah. No. Where does it spawn? What do you mean? I send an event to the spawn BP to do stuff. Yeah, so the enemy manager basically handles its spawning. So all I'm going to do now is go and pass a reference to this itself, so that when we spawn to it, they have a reference to it. And can this not just be like a replication category? No. Instance editable? No. Blueprint read only? Yes. Expose and spawn? No, that's not what I want. What am I doing? Where am I? Who am I? Enemy manager, this one. We want blueprint read only. Should this variable be private? It's fine. Advanced. No. Okay. So then what we'll do is the base enemy. Oh, wait, hold up. Before I do that, we need to pass a reference to self inside of. And then we have an event here. So custom event. Handle enemy death. So on handle enemy death, it's going to be public. That's good. So when an enemy dies, handle death. We play the animation death. Delay. Promote this to a variable. Death delay. Never mind. I already have that as a variable. I'm going to make that 2. Okay. Why are you lagging so much? Like when I spawn an NPC, it creates its own variable, promoted. Then I call that one from anywhere and it runs in the NPC as an event. Right, okay, I see what you mean. we should actually do... we can do this. We don't want to destroy the actor anymore. We want to call... Didn't we have a state for this? Handle death. Event graph. Wait a minute, this makes no sense. That's... wait, no, that's fine. Set up initial state. Delete that. Set up initial state. So we set up the initial state, which basically resets it. Then we are going to take the enemy manager, and now we're going to say that handle enemy death, which calls that, which is actually going to need to have a BP enemy. That. So we have the enemy. We have... it's the enemy. What is going on with that? I might have a memory leak somewhere. So we have the enemy, and we're going to pass this back into that. Self, if you want to call it. That, like that. Q. Yeah. So now, what we do... set is active to false. Then we go and we stop the remove item, which should be this. I used to get that on Unreal Engine 4 a lot. UE would crash due to memory leak after closing. It was strange. Oh yeah. We sometimes have that where Unreal Engine crashes after you've closed down the application. Like you're closing down the application and it crashes. It's like, okay, great. Okay, so now in the handle death, what we're doing is... okay, to handle death, we set the enemy to no longer active, we remove it from that array, and crash when closing the application happened for me in 5.5, but hasn't happened to me in 5.6 though. Interesting, because we are having that on 5.5, we haven't upgraded to 5.6, so that might solve itself then, I hope. It's not common, it's very rare that it happens, but it will happen. So that means that if I've done this correctly, this object pooling should now work. So if I spawn an enemy, then kill the enemy before we get to the end of the pool, we should never spawn more than the number of enemies, right? Let's see if it works. Why is there an error? Why is there an error here? BP enemy is dead is not a blueprint visible function. BP based enemies does not inherit from pawn. It hasn't inherited from pawn for a while. I'm gonna try something just in case. Okay, wait, what has changed in you? Shaman. If I open you, open the full blueprint. What has changed in you since that? No differences, no differences, no differences, no differences. Did you activate something? I didn't think I did. Because in theory, that animation blueprint shouldn't even be being used. So if I go and I go APB char, a animation blueprint char, find usages, because this shouldn't be used anywhere at the moment. Reference viewer. It's somehow used in enemy where? I had the same problem before. MDC's had it. It's weird because like we're playing an animation, we're setting that. Like, why does it just randomly appear out of nowhere? Play an editor. Okay, so the blueprint compilation error. Fine, we'll deal with it. We might deal with it by deleting it, and then Unreal will go. So, let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And if I press start, so we've got 1 enemy, 2 enemies. So 9, 10. Okay, now an enemy has died. So let's see what happens. So there's 7 enemies in the pool. So it goes back to the pool. And then I want to see if I go into my set unused function. If we go in here, not this one. Do we ever spawn a new one? Play. Okay, 9. Okay, so we don't, and we know it's working because some of them are broken. Okay, so pooled enemies are currently not... So the pooled enemies are not being moved again. Enemy... Oh, because they are marked as dead. Right.
This is the future.
Funny enough, the error that it was giving me actually kind of gave me
Evolution.
a idea. So set up place state.
This is the future.
Set is dead. Is dead. Is false now, and that should just work, right? Whoa, that compiler's taking so long. Start. Oh, whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, we've got 9 enemies. Still 9 enemies. Still 9 enemies. So that worked. Okay then. I'd be curious to see now if I go and throw that up into Unreal Insights, what kind of an effect it has. Like, Is it good? Is it bad? Are we having a noticeable change? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn 100 enemies, but I'm going to kill them off and see how is it looking in Unreal Insights. The whole time I had been adding that energy crystal to my widget. Kind of hard to find the placement and move invisible because the middle of the screen needs to stay visible. Oh, right. Fair enough. Imagine things just working. It'd be too easy if things just work, right? Like, it'd be great if they just worked. So, okay, hold on. Let's press stop. Game on! Hello. Let's see if this works. So, 100 at once. Yeah. Well, not at once, but I'm going to spawn 100 total. So spawn count I'm going to change to 100. We're going to compile. We're going to save. And we're going to test Basically, what we're going to test is I'm going to have 100 enemies spawned, but technically only 10 are ever going to be active. So we'll start the tracing. We'll press play. That's going to initialize 10. There we go. There's our 10 initialized. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So this should never have more than 100 goes. So let's press start. So there's the first one dead. 2, 3. And we're playing the numbers. I forgot that we're playing the numbers. Okay, so the towers do enough that they allow them to spawn, walk a bit, and then get killed. And notice that on the right here, the number of enemies is 9. Or it's technically 10. Giving an enemy from the pool. Good. I probably should have set up a counter so I know how many have actually spawned. It is a bit mesmerizing to just look at, you know, all of that carnage. $55? Oh, are you counting? Because I haven't been counting. It looks cool. I really need to get the towers animating. I think that will make them look like a lot better, because at the moment they're just really weird and they're static and also facing the wrong direction for this part here. Almost done. Oh, there we go. Nice. Good job counting that. Stop. Hello, boom. Okay, let's have a look at the Unreal Insights now. So if we have a look at the latest trace, it should be this one. So, this must be when we spawned all of them. This is probably when I pressed play. Like, okay, I can understand that. So what happened at, like, can I select a range? There. What thread is this? This is the game thread. So we were sitting just above 16 milliseconds, a bit close to maybe 33. I added turret code to my project the other day. I'm interested to see how you do it. I made a tank that shoots nearby spawns. The funny thing is, you may have implemented... sorry, Boom. You may have implemented more turret code than I have. I'd be interested to see how you've implemented your turret code. Because mine don't change direction yet. I still need to animate them. I've just been putting it off because reasons. I made a tank that shoots nearby pawns. You want to steal my code? Yes. Yes, I do. I spent 15 minutes looking at why my package build is 4 gigs. Found a shelf 600 just by removing web browser support that included a PB file. Oh wow. Did you also remember to mark which levels you want? Because one thing I discovered the hard way is that in Unreal Engine, if you specify which maps you want builded, it will reduce your package size because by default it just puts them all in. So I packaged a game that was 1.5 gigs, and by like doing a few changes like that, it also meant that there was a whole reference thing. You learned that early on, yeah, because it uses references as well. So if you load a map, so it goes to the map and sees what references it needs. So if you have a map that you're using for testing that had a whole bunch of stuff, but your shipped game doesn't have them, and you just go through and add all your maps that you're using, it'll go through and see, oh, I don't need to add, I only need these assets, so it'll only add those ones. Otherwise it just adds everything. So what happened here? Like, what's taking all the time? Let's see. So CPU. Let's see. Spawn manager? Do we not have a spawn manager? There's a tick manager. BP enemy manager. Oh, there we go. BP enemy manager. So execute graph for this took, what did it actually do? Array length. I don't know, next one. What did we do here, for example? Water system. What is the water system doing? I'm thrilled to have found that in just 15 minutes, looking forward to finding a ton more bloat in just 1 day's work. I'm on vacation this week, heading to the coastal beaches tomorrow. Nice, well, enjoy your vacation. Let me know if you find any other like gotchas that you think, you know, just by enabling this setting, you can reduce your package build size by 50%. One thing I did for Lightning Tower I built for my previous game is a radar thing. It was a rotating blueprint that spun around the axis of the tower, and it would only fire if it hit you. Rotated fast, so enemies enemies will make it through. Okay, cool. I'm gonna track every change and blog it. Nice. Please send me that blog when you do find all of it. It'd be very interesting to read that. I need to add tracking to see how long my tick function makes. Okay, input. Ooh, interesting. So BP Electric Tower took 471. What is US? Microseconds? It is a microsecond. Is that all of them or just one of them? Interesting. Okay, so finish spawn actor. The detection sphere took almost 1 millisecond. That's a lot. On enemy enter range, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Is this all one frame? It is all one frame. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Possibly correct, yes. That might be a bottleneck. We'll need to keep an eye on that. So the electric tower took... The Niagara particle system was 16 nanoseconds. Wow. That was on there. Who did a line trace? Also, I forgot that I was doing all of this while in the editor. That's quite interesting. Alright, it's probably a good time for me to stop here. I think we made some very good progress. We got an object pooling system working. Who are we going to raid today? Any suggestions from anybody? Let's commit this.
Kevin, next.
Functional programming C++. I do not even follow them. Let's do somebody new. Fine, let's do it. Process raid. That. There's your raid message. Ow. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. If you want to hang out, well, not during, or if you want to hang out during the week, we have a Discord where we post things, people ask questions, and you can get updates for the streams and that kind of stuff. I won't be streaming next week Saturday. It's my sister's birthday, so I'm going out then. And we also have a YouTube where we post clips. If you're on YouTube, well, you're already there. Stuff and things. Yes, stuff and things. Yeah, so next week Saturday I won't be here. I'm going to my sister for her birthday. I'll be here probably next week Sunday. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. We're going to raid out. What else is there? I think that's basically it, isn't it? Thank you all for stopping by. Have a good week. You too. Goodbye. Goodbye. Alright, we forgot the raid message. We forgot the raid message. Seculos has already got the raid message. There's the raid message. Alright, cool. Well, have a good week. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Can you feel